Let's not waste a single second because what I'm about to tell you will redefine everything you thought you knew about your investment, your patience, and that stack of Iraqi dinar notes you've been holding onto, sometimes wondering if it was all just a dream. The silence has been broken, and the signals we are now receiving from the corridors of international finance are not just whispers. They are declarations. For years, the narrative surrounding the Iraqi Dinar Revaluation, or the RV, has been a roller coaster of hope, frustration, deep analysis, and rampant speculation. It has been a story written in the complex language of global geopolitics, economic recovery, and monetary policy, often leaving the average holder feeling lost in a sea of acronyms, conflicting reports, and endless forum debates. But today we pivot from speculation to substance. The core of this new chapter, and the reason you need to listen with utmost attention, hinges on a single powerful entity, the United States Department of the Treasury. When the U.S. Treasury moves, the world's financial markets take note. Its approvals, its sanctions, its agreements, and its oversight are the tectonic plates upon which global currency stability often rests. For Iraq, a nation rebuilding from decades of conflict and striving for true financial sovereignty, the relationship with the U.S. Treasury isn't just important, it is foundational. Recent developments suggest a significant and deliberate shift in this relationship, a move from a posture of strict control and oversight to one of strategic partnership and phased normalization. This isn't about a casual meeting or a routine statement. We are talking about documented, high-level engagements focused explicitly on Iraq's financial integration into the global system. The implications are profound. Think of it like this. Iraq's currency, the IQD, has been operating under a unique set of rules for nearly 2 decades. Its value, officially pegged, has not reflected the potential of the nation's vast resources, its oil, its gas, its agricultural capacity, and the resilient spirit of its people. Instead, it has been a tool for stability, a necessary mechanism to prevent hyperinflation and economic collapse during the most turbulent times. But stability is the first step, not the final destination. The destination is a convertible, internationally recognized currency that trades freely on foreign exchange markets, a currency that reflects the true economic worth of the nation. The U.S. Treasury, through its Office of Foreign Assets Control and its International Finance Divisions, holds a significant key to that gate. Their approval for certain mechanisms, for correspondent banking relationships, for the clearance of financial transactions on a grand scale, is not merely administrative. It is a signal of trust. It is the global financial community's green light. And the chatter from multiple credible sources in the financial world indicates that this green light is now flickering to life. This is what has reignited the conversation so fiercely. It's not another baseless rumor from an anonymous forum post. It is the recognition that the structural prerequisites for a revaluation are being actively and quietly assembled. The Central Bank of Iraq has been working tirelessly, implementing reforms, building reserves, and pushing for digital modernization. But all of that internal work requires external validation to become truly effective. The U.S. Treasury's role is that validator. When they approve frameworks for exchange and settlement, they are effectively dismantling the barriers that have kept the IQD in its isolated position. So, what does this mean for the rate? It means the current official rate is increasingly seen as an anachronism, a relic of a bygone era of crisis. The market pressure, both from within Iraq and from international holders, is building against this artificial peg. The economic fundamentals of Iraq can no longer be contained by such a low valuation. The country is not poor, it is monetarily constrained. There's a monumental difference. The speculation surges because logic dictates that a correction is not only possible but necessary for Iraq to move forward. This initial movement, this approval from the Treasury, is about setting the stage for that correction. It is about creating the legal and financial plumbing that will allow a new, realistic exchange rate to flow into the global system without causing a shock. For you, the holder, this is the most critical period. This is the time when information is paramount, and discernment is your greatest asset. The noise will be louder than ever. Every tweet, every blog post will claim to have the final answer. But you must focus on the institutional actions, not the social media reactions. Watch the banking channels. Monitor the official statements from the Central Bank of Iraq and the U.S. Federal Reserve. The story is now being written in boardrooms and government halls, not in chat rooms. And the first page of this new chapter is the formal, technical, and profoundly significant engagement of the U.S. Treasury with Iraq's monetary future. This engagement is the spark. What comes next will determine the fire. So we've established the ignition point, the pivotal involvement of the US Treasury. Now, let's delve into the machinery of what an exchange approval truly entails and why it is being conflated with the long-awaited confirmation of the revaluation. To the everyday investor, the term US Treasury approves Iraqi Dinar exchange might sound like a simple headline. A switch has been flipped and now we can all go to our banks. The reality, as with all things in high finance, is vastly more intricate and strategically timed. First, we must understand the historical context. Following the 2003 intervention, Iraq's financial system was placed under immense international scrutiny and control. The Development Fund for Iraq and later the Central Bank of Iraq's operations were deeply intertwined with U.S. oversight, primarily through the Federal Reserve Bank of New York and Treasury directives. This was a system designed to prevent the looting of national assets and to stabilize a shattered economy. For the IQD, this meant its international movement was heavily restricted. It was, for all practical purposes, a non-traded currency outside of Iraq's borders, with a fixed program rate meant for budget planning, not for reflecting global supply and demand. The exchange we are discussing now is not about you walking into a local currency kiosk. It is about Iraq's capacity to engage in direct, large-scale international currency exchanges and settlements without going through a convoluted web of intermediaries and restrictions. The U.S. Treasury's approval likely relates to specific financial messaging systems, like SWIFT, and the establishment of direct correspondent banking relationships between Iraqi financial institutions and major international banks. This is the unsexy back-end plumbing of global finance. It's about enabling a bank in Baghdad to send a payment in Iraqi dinar to a supplier in Germany, and for that dinar to be seamlessly converted to euros through a clear, approved channel at a transparent rate. Currently, such transactions are layered with complexity, fees, and delays, which discourages international trade using the IQD. By approving this framework, the Treasury is effectively saying, the Iraqi financial system now has the anti-money laundering safeguards, the transparency protocols, and the regulatory compliance to join the club. This is a massive vote of confidence. It is the essential infrastructure required before a new, revalued rate can be operationalized globally. Without this plumbing, even if Iraq declared a new higher rate tomorrow, there would be no functional international mechanism to honor it at your local bank. The RV confirmed, part of the fervor stems from understanding this sequence. The confirmation is not of a specific number, but of the process. It is the confirmation that the necessary steps to allow a revaluation to be successful are being completed. Think of it like launching a satellite. The RV is the satellite entering orbit. The Treasury's exchange approval is the final go from mission control after all the system checks on the rocket are confirmed. One cannot happen without the other. The rate update, therefore, becomes a dynamic conversation. The official peg remains, but the market anticipation creates a shadow value. This shadow value is what fuels the secondary market and the intense speculation. Analysts look at Iraq's purchasing power parity, its foreign currency reserves, which are at record highs, its debt-to-GDP ratio, and most importantly, its need to move away from a de facto dollarized economy. A stronger, realistic IQD allows Iraq to import goods without draining its dollar reserves, to attract foreign investment without currency fear, and to grant its citizens greater purchasing power. Estimates vary wildly, from conservative adjustments to life-changing numbers, but the logical direction is upward. The Central Bank of Iraq has already been subtly moving towards a more flexible exchange rate, allowing slight fluctuations within a band. This is a classic testing of the waters. The global attention renewed on the IQD is not an accident. It is the financial world sensing a shift. Large investment funds, currency traders, and geopolitical analysts are all watching the same indicators. Oil production agreement. Now let's address the elephant in the room. The immense gap between this institutional progress and the tangible experience of the dinar holder waiting for a life-changing event. This gap is where anxiety breeds, where scams proliferate, and where even the most steadfast investors can lose their bearings. It is crucial, absolutely vital, that you compartmentalize the two. The world of international monetary agreements and SWIFT protocols exists in a realm of time that is deliberate, slow, and methodical. It is governed by legal reviews, technical implementations, and geopolitical considerations that do not adhere to a weekend rumor schedule. Your world, the world of checking rates online, listening for bank announcements, and planning a future, operates on a much more immediate emotional clock. Bridging this gap requires a deep understanding of what happens after the approvals we just discussed. Let's walk through the logical sequence. Once the Treasury and international bodies are satisfied with the systemic frameworks, the baton passes decisively to the Central Bank of Iraq. The CBI will then be in a position to make a sovereign decision about its currency's value, backed by the newfound ability to enforce that value globally. This decision will not be made in a vacuum. It will be a calculated move based on optimal economic impact. They will consider the rate that best stimulates non-oil sectors, controls inflation from a sudden wealth influx, and allows for the repayment of sovereign debt in a manageable way. This is why the rate update will be a formal official announcement from the CBI, likely accompanied by a statement from the International Monetary Fund as an observer. It will not be a leak. It will be a proclamation. When that happens, the global financial data providers, Bloomberg, Reuters, XE.com, and will update their systems within minutes. That is your primary source of truth. Not a YouTube video, not a guru, but the same data feeds used by every bank and airport currency exchange in the world. Then begins the operational rollout. The Federal Reserve and other central banks will issue guidance to their member banks. This is another layer that takes time. Your local bank or credit union is at the end of a long chain of command. It must receive internal memos, update its own software systems, train its tellers and managers on the new currency's status and procedures, and establish its own exchange and buyback policies. This process will not be uniform. A major international bank with a dedicated forex desk in New York or London may be ready within days. A small community bank in the heartland may take weeks to become fully informed and operational. This phased rollout is normal and should be expected. It will create a period of confusion where some people report success and others report being turned away. During this time, the most dangerous predators will emerge. They will offer priority exchange services for a fee, or they will try to buy your dinar at a fraction of the new rate, preying on impatience. You must be armored with patience and official information. Have the phone number for your bank's main forex or treasury department ready. Be prepared to show source of funds documentation for your dinar purchase. This is where your foresight in keeping all receipts, certificates of authenticity, and records of transaction will pay dividends. Furthermore, understand the difference between the wholesale rate, the interbank rate, and the retail rate, the rate you get. There will be a spread. That is how currency exchange businesses make money. Do not expect to receive the precise headline rate. The key is to avoid being gouged by an unreasonable spread. Shop around. Be polite but firm. You are not exchanging a lottery ticket. You are converting a sovereign currency that has undergone a structured revaluation. This entire process, from CBI announcement to smooth exchange at your local institution, is the global monetary transition that has been theorized for years. It is not a myth. It is a standard, if rare, procedure in international economics. Germany did it after reunification. Kuwait did it after the Gulf War. The mechanisms exist. For Iraq, the scale is larger and the geopolitical spotlight is brighter, but the principles are the same. Your mental preparation for this phased, sometimes frustrating, operational phase is just as important as your financial preparation. The initial euphoria of the announcement will be followed by a test of your resolve during the implementation. Stay focused on the fact that the hardest part, the political and technical approvals to make it possible, is what is happening right now as signaled by these Treasury developments. The rest, while logistically complex, is ultimately a matter of procedure. Your calm, informed demeanor during that procedure will be your greatest advantage. As we bring this comprehensive analysis to a close, let's crystallize the message and focus on the actionable path forward from this very moment. The seismic shift we have detailed is not in the future. Its early tremors are being felt now in the form of these institutional approvals and the intense, informed speculation they generate. The headline of the U.S. Treasury's involvement is your signal to move from a passive holding pattern to a state of active, educated readiness. This is not a time for panic buying more dinar. The window for accumulation for those who believed in the thesis has likely passed. This is a time for strategic preparation and vigilant observation. Your first action item is to conduct a full audit of your holding. Locate every certificate, every receipt, every bank slip from your purchases. Ensure your notes are authentic and in good condition. If you have used a dealer, confirm their contact information and reputation are still solid. Organize these documents in a secure, waterproof folder. This is your foundation. Your second action is to research your exit strategy. Identify 3 potential places to exchange your currency: your primary bank, a major national bank with a dedicated forex desk, and a reputable high-volume currency exchange business, perhaps in a major international airport or financial district. Call them now, not to ask about the dinar specifically, but to ask a general question. What is your process for exchanging a foreign currency that is not commonly traded, if it undergoes a significant revaluation? Take notes on their responses. Do they have a forex department? Do they handle such transactions at every branch or only at a central location? This reconnaissance will save you days of frantic calls later. Your third action is to mentally and financially prepare for tax implications. In most countries, currency exchange gains are considered taxable income. The magnitude of this event means consulting with a tax professional before you exchange is not a suggestion. It is a necessity. Understand whether it will be treated as capital gains or ordinary income, and begin to set aside a significant portion for that liability. Do not get caught with a massive tax bill and no liquidity to pay it. This is a cornerstone of responsible wealth management. Your fourth and ongoing action is to curate your information sources ruthlessly. Bookmark the official websites of the Central Bank of Iraq and the U.S. Department of the Treasury. Follow major financial news wires like Reuters and Bloomberg for Iraq and Dinar alerts. These sources will report the facts without hype. Simultaneously, you must begin to disengage from the rumor mills. The coming days and weeks will see a crescendo of false claims, fake screenshots, and manufactured deadlines. Your emotional and mental energy is a finite resource. Do not burn it out on the chaos of social media. Let the official channels be your comm center in the storm. Finally, begin to envision the aftermath of a successful exchange. This is not about frivolous spending. It is about purposeful legacy building. Think in terms of layers. The layer for immediate debt elimination, the layer for secured investments and asset acquisition, the layer for generational planning, and the layer for philanthropic impact. Having a plan, even a basic one, will prevent rash decisions when the moment arrives. It will ground you. Remember, the ultimate goal of this investment was never just the number on the exchange ticket. It was the freedom and security that number could provide. Stay focused on that why. Now, as I wrap this up, I need you to do something critical for me and, more importantly, for yourself and this entire community. The power of collective, focused attention is real. So, if this breakdown has provided you with clarity, has replaced anxiety with a structured plan, then I need you to engage right now. First, smash that like button on this video. It's the simplest way to signal that factual, in-depth analysis matters to you and helps this message reach others who are searching for truth in the noise. Second, subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell. We are moving into the most critical phase of this story, and I am committed to being a source of calm, professional updates without the hysterics. You will not want to miss the next analysis when the next official signal drops. Third, and this is the most important call to action, share this video with one other person you know who holds dinar. Send it to your group chat, email it to your investing partner, or share it on your social media page. Do not hoard this information. We are stronger as an informed, prepared, and patient community. Your share could be the thing that stops someone from making a terrible mistake out of desperation or ignorance. It could be the link that brings clarity to someone who is overwhelmed. Use the share button right now and be a force for stability and knowledge. The journey you started years ago is nearing its most decisive junction. You have held on through doubt and delay. Now, arm yourself with knowledge, prepare with diligence, and support this community with action. The wait is transforming from a test of patience into a prelude to purpose. Be ready. Stay sharp. And I will be right here with you, every step of the way until the final, official update is announced to the world.